Hello all and welcome to Astro Wheel of Fortune. So today I'm doing a reading on your December predictions. We have 6 piles: pile 1, pile 2, pile 3, pile 4, pile 5 and pile 6. I also have a collective reading up on my podcast if you want to check it out. It was a very emotional and a very intense reading for December, so I do feel like I'm fully expecting most of these piles to be quite intense in their nature. So with that, if you want to pause this video and you can pick a card, or if you want to stop this video, go listen to the collective first and then come back for your card, whichever you prefer. But we're gonna get started. So I'm starting with pile number 1. So pile number 1, I split this into different areas of life for your December, and we also have some tea leaf cards here that I'm going to pick from. If I can stop shaking my camera as well, I'm so sorry about that. Okay, let's get into it. So I have general energy first of all for your December for you, pile 1. We've got letting go, allow the wisdom to remain, but the sting I shall never feel again. And then we've got the 3 of Pentacles. Let me try and think about this. Letting go of something. Letting go of something in order to perform teamwork and cooperate with another person or a team. Letting go of a problem in order to go further as a team or as a couple. So for some of you, this could be to do with a workplace. For most of you, this feels like something to do maybe with a workplace or a person that you work on a project with. For some of you, this could be in a relationship. The theme stands though, letting go of an issue that maybe you've been dwelling on for a very long time in order to be a team and to support each other and to get a better, it's kind of like, it's better if we get a result from us cooperating and having healthy teamwork than constantly dwelling on something bad that happened. Forgiveness can be a part of this as well. So if you've been dwelling on something, if something has been, it's almost like, when you get like like a piece of wood or something stuck in your finger or something like that, and it's really hard to get out, and you've been trying to get it out, it's like you finally get it out from under your skin. It's like some issue, some worry that you've consistently felt under your skin. It's almost like under your whole being, and I feel this kind of like discomfort that you must have felt from it. Maybe an unresolved issue finally gets resolved so that you and a partner or you and a coworker or multiple coworkers can move forward in a healthier way. And that's a really nice, it's almost like feels like a blessing to me. It kind of feels like finally I get to resolve an issue that I've wanted to resolve for a very, very long time now. So that is beautiful, pile number 1. So generally I feel like you're going to feel relief. I feel like that's the main theme for your December. You're going to feel relief. Maybe this person will present you with a piece of information or an apology or maybe an explanation, or maybe this is not a person, maybe this is multiple people. If they could present you with a piece of information or some sort of explanation that you look at and you go, that makes sense now. Even though I was hurt, even though it felt, maybe I went through a difficult period of time where I felt like this issue was under my skin, it makes sense now. I can empathize with it, I can process it, and I can, move forward. So moving forward from maybe some sort of emotional stagnation in order to cooperate. That's the general message. So now let's move into we're going to move into your money matters. So let's look at your career and your money in December. We've got the 8 of Swords 8 of Swords and the Knight of Pentacles in reverse. There's some overthinking happening here about your job. There's some overthinking. There's some kind of being again, I do feel like maybe you do suffer with some type of anxiety. Maybe you suffer with some self-limiting beliefs, because I feel like you are dealing with some self-limiting beliefs in your job. So if this general situation that I'm picking up on here for pile number 1, where you had this issue under your skin, you haven't been able to resolve it, and you've been finding it very difficult to let go of, it could pertain to your career as well. And so you're really addressing that. You're addressing any self-limiting beliefs or like, why do I think this way? Why do I think that this person hates me? Why do I think, why is it when I have a conflict with somebody, I can't seem to let it go and it almost becomes worse and worse in my head? I think you're going to be thinking about your career a lot. I think you're going to be really thinking about the progress or the lack of progress that you've had in your career. And it's not to say that this is like in a negative way. You're going to be assessing what areas of your career you've had progress in, and you're going to be assessing in what areas of your career you hadn't had any progress in. You're really going to be evaluating like, okay, this part of my career actually works really well for me. Like, it works well for me. I feel very natural when I'm doing it. This part of my career doesn't suit me at all. It only stifles my progress. How can I change it? How can I remove it if possible? There's a real, and again, I feel like for a lot of you, why this is happening is because you're cooperating with somebody else. So maybe another person can come in and give you like a second opinion and give you a second explanation to why maybe you haven't been making progress. Maybe somebody wants to be a team with you in order to help you progress. But I do feel like you've been under this level of stagnation and you're ready to tackle that stagnation finally in December. So if you've been stagnant in your career, you felt like you haven't made much progress in your career in the past couple of months, I think in December, you're like, rather than going and overthinking it 20 times, with the 8 of Swords here, rather than sitting and overthinking it. And again, not that there's nothing wrong with overthinking. Overthinking is so exhausting and unproductive, and it never brings anything good really. But if you think about it, I like to think of overthinking, it's your imagination working against yourself. So if you're a good overthinker, if you're really good at overthinking every single situation, that means you can also overthink every single solution to the problem. If you are an overthinker who can think of any sort of possible thing that could and would go wrong, you can also think of any possible solution that could help you resolve that issue. So maybe you're turning that on its head. Like, I'm getting turning your negatives into your positives. That's a big thing with pile number 1. It's like a thing that was really under my skin, a feeling that like really wouldn't leave me alone for a very long time. I understood it and I turned it into a lesson, and I took valuable information from that, and I'm going to use that information to implement in my future dealings with people in work or a relationship. This feels more like a work related thing. In your career, you're going to look at your faults, you're going to look where you're not the strongest, and you're going to go, I'm going to think of every possible solution to this. And again, it's not going to be in this overwhelming way. I don't think you're going to be thinking of every possible solution in this like, oh, I need to think of every possible solution, or a disaster is going to happen. It's just kind of like turning, if I can overthink on a matter, if I can overthink on a problem and think of every possible disaster that could happen with this problem, I can also overthink on a solution and a creative way to resolve this. So that is really nice, pile number 1. It's like really, it's kind of like a little bit of shadow work, you could say, as well. It's like you're realizing, hold on, if I'm able to be this profound thinker when it comes to negative thoughts, how can I turn that into my positive? Because it's the same formula. It's like you're using the same formula of overthinking, but you're consciously turning it into something positive. So turning negative into positives consciously, specifically in your job and career. But I feel like overall it's going to be a theme for you in December. Let's move on to your love life. So for your love life, we have the 10 of Cups. So the 10 of Cups, again, signifies to me for pile number 1 is that you're thinking, okay, I'm dissatisfied in my relationships. I'm dissatisfied in my personal interactions with people. If we're talking about specifically, like if you're in a relationship right now, you might be going through something difficult with your partner. You might be going through some difficult emotions with your partner. Maybe you're feeling maybe unsatisfied with the way that they're performing love towards you. And again, is it that you're overthinking it? Like, again, there could be, and I think you're addressing that yourself. Like, I'm not trying to preach to you. I think this is going to be your thought process. Like, they didn't, like, for example, let's say you were hoping for like a present from them, or you were hoping for something that they would do something for you, and they ended up not doing it. And you start overthinking in your head, like, oh my God, they didn't do it because they don't love me, because they don't understand me, they don't understand the full extent of like what I like as a person, what I need as a person. But the cards are kind of like, and I think you're gonna be, it's almost like there's two people talking to each other in your head. There's gonna be a counter argument to every overthinking thought that you're gonna think. So it's like the counter argument is, but did you communicate to them that that's what you wanted, or did you want them to kind of like guess it? So okay, if you didn't communicate it, and they didn't guess it, fair enough. Sometimes people can guess. Sometimes people are very in tune. But what if your partner had a very difficult week as well? What if your partner went through a very difficult week where they were really exhausted and they weren't able to connect the dots because they were too busy overthinking about their own situation? And I think, every time you have an overthinking thought about this situation, you're going to counteract on it. So then we can talk about the singles in the same way as well. It's kind of like, oh, I like this person. I can't believe like they're not responding to my signals, and your signals may be very subtle. And again, it's you asking yourself, okay, are my signals subtle? Am I being too subtle about it? How would they know if they had a very tough week? And how would they potentially know that I like them? How would they potentially know that I have feelings for them if I didn't communicate? Communication could be a very, very key thing in December as well. And I think in a way, it's your kind of like cheat sheet towards everything. Every time you overthink, what way can you communicate that? If you are overthinking about a coworker, how can you communicate it to them? It doesn't mean you have to tell them everything that you're feeling about them. For example, you think that they're trying to like work against you, or they're trying to gossip about you. Not that you have to communicate that to them, but you might want to communicate to them, hey, like, is there a problem? Or you could communicate in a way that is a little bit more subtle. Like you could say, hey, I noticed that maybe you need a bit of help with work. Like, how can I help? Or, the other way around, vice versa. Ask them for help. Like, I'm getting that you're simplifying a lot of things in December. There's a real, like, I need to simplify. That's what I keep hearing. So for the 10 of Cups in reverse, when it comes to love life, I think you're trying to simplify things as well. But something is standing out as you possibly dealing with feelings of dissatisfaction in love life in December. But it's again looking within, because I don't think you're actually dissatisfied with your relationships, or if you're single, I don't think you actually hate being single. It's what your thoughts manifest in your head when you're single. Do your thoughts tell you that you're single because nobody would ever want you, or do your thoughts tell you that you're single because that you push everybody away? And it's kind of like you're going to be counteracting that again, as I was saying. You're going to be counteracting that energy and going, well, no, you're just my inner saboteur. You're just my inner critic. And that's kind of like your job. It's almost like you're having a conversation with yourself, and you're saying that's your job to convince me that the person I'm with doesn't love me. It's your job to convince me that the person that I like could never possibly even lay their eyes on me. I am going to counteract you, but like, why wouldn't they, or my partner didn't show me anything to overtly show me that they're not in love with me, or that they don't care about me, or this person that I have a crush on, they barely even know that I have any feelings for them. I barely spoke to them. So they might have very neutral feelings towards me. Even if they don't like me on that romantic level, maybe their feelings are neutral, and maybe potentially if they knew how I felt, they would feel the same. There's a real, you're bringing things to a point of neutrality a lot in December. I think you're trying to keep your emotions out of high highs and low lows and stick to the neutral energy. It's like everything you're trying to make sure that you're in a neutral space. So let's see for your spirituality, what does it say? So we've got the Princess of Pentacles in reverse. Again, I'm getting like communication, information, communication. I'm getting, this is kind of like relating back to this letting go. Something, I kind of feel this could be specifically for a love relationship or a work relationship for some of you. There would have been a person or a situation with a person where you potentially overthought it, and it kind of sent you into this oblivion of like, this person hates me, they don't like me, there's a problem. Like, there's a problem and it's bothering me, and it's bothering you to the point where you don't even know the details of why it's bothering you. It's just like this like piece of wood stuck under your skin. And then in December, you finally get a piece of information, like a puzzle piece that's been missing, that you can finally put that puzzle piece in and go, oh, I see how I overthought it. Maybe this person was mad at you. Maybe this person even hated you. Yes. But the context under which it all happened is going to help you understand that you were making it. It's kind of like, when we think somebody hates us or somebody is against us, it's kind of like we live in our own world. Again, we all live in our own world from our own perspective, At the end of the day, it's kind of like your story, and you're living through. It's kind of like we all have our own book or film or novel that's being told about us, and like that's how we operate in our life. Like everything is from our perspective. Nothing is, you don't live your life from your sister's perspective or from your partner's perspective. You live it from your own perspective. So everything is in relation to you, and I think that's something that you're starting to realize. And you're starting to realize, I'm living my life from my own perspective, and I'm the main character of my story. But this person that I had a problem with, they are a main character in their own story. And the way that, like, the problem that they had with me and the problem that I had with them, they could be two very different stories. And I think that's the part that you're kind of like unraveling for yourself. But in general, December is going to be getting back to the basics, minimizing these heights of emotions and trying to bring everything to a point of neutrality. I do think that communication is going to be improving. I think on a spiritual level, you're going to try to communicate. I'm even hearing like communicate with yourself. It's not even about communicating with other people. It's about communicating with yourself, first of all. Again, I'm getting this counteractive argument. It's like every time you have an overthinking, compulsive thought, create a voice that's a counteractive, almost like two lawyers arguing. One of them is a very emotional lawyer who's always seeing the negative side of things. Create a lawyer in your head that is like, no, why do you think that? Like, why is that honor and respect will come to you. Why is that something that you believe? Always question why you believe something negative, and almost take it from a different point of view. Okay, so we've got honor and respect will come to you, the crown, and then, okay, let's see. I'm just going to pull one or two more cards, and then we're going to finish up the reading. Lightning. Control your anger or you will be sorry. Again, it's that minimization of emotion. Trying to minimize your emotion. I'm really getting a strong sense that career, I feel like you don't believe that your career is going to go well in December, but it's going to be going really well in December. We've also got love, affection, and caring, and we've got wish will not be granted. Broken wishbone. I am strongly getting the feeling that the more you can minimize, it's not to say that you shouldn't feel your emotions. Of course, feel your emotions. But the more you're able to kind of like almost bring your emotion down, like feel the extent of anger or feel the extent of sadness or happiness or whatever it is to the highest level, and then go, okay, now I'm bringing it down. And now I'm bringing it down to neutrality, and that's where I make my decisions. But I see that your love life, again, that's what I was feeling. Like your love life is not going as bad as you think it is. Your love life actually has a lot more to offer than you realize. Maybe you don't want to see it right now because you are in this state of confusion, but I think in December it's going to become very clear, whether you're single or in a relationship, that there's a lot more romantic energy around you than you realize. So potentially for those of you that are single, you may realize that there actually is somebody who is admiring you, someone who likes you. And for those of you in a relationship, you might really realize how much you love your partner and your partner loves you. And this could relate to this energy of teamwork. So very interesting reading, pile number one. So we spent about 20 minutes on you. So very interesting. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you liked it. But I'm going to move on. If you like to do like and subscribe, by the way, and leave me comments with feedback. I do enjoy feedback, but we're going to move on. So pile number two, let's see, what do you have in store for your December? So I pulled different types of cards for different, for love, career, so on. So we're going to start with the general energy. Dream sweet, sleep deep. Okay. And then we've got 3 of Cups. First thing that I'm getting is like resting and celebration. December is going to be a good month for you to rest and celebrate. I'm kind of getting like, forget about the busyness of the world if you can. And I think that's something that you're going to be doing. You're going to be very focused on resting. Rest hard, play hard. That's what's coming to mind. Rest hard, play hard. Celebrate, enjoy, rest. I'm kind of getting it's like you're preparing for a very busy 2021. You could be preparing for a very busy 2021. So you want to make sure you get your celebrations in, that you get your rest in, and so that you're well like fed, that you got all your drinks out of the way, that you got all your rest out of the way, any parties, if there are any parties, if lockdown is easing off, if there aren't, it might be just like celebrating with friends. So you want to get that out of your system before 2021. For some of you, that's what I'm getting. For some of you, this is just going to be a very fun month, but also a month where you're able to rest. So it's not going to be a month full of just like constant partying and drinking and celebration. It's also going to be a month where you're like, okay, this week I'm going to stay low key, I'm going to relax, I'm going to chill out, and then next week I'm going to go out and have fun, I'm going to meet up with my friends. I'm seeing a lot of like social interaction. So you might be meeting up with a lot of friends, meeting up with people that you care about. This could even involve family, but to me this is a month largely about self-care, whether it's social self-care, whether it's self-care in a form of a nap or a spa day or getting away for a weekend. It's all about rest and play. It's not about work and concentrating on this productivity. I suppose you're not going to care about productivity in December, or at least that's something that you're trying to avoid, if anything. And again, I think productivity is not always necessary. Like sometimes we actually need a time where we're not productive, and I think that's something that you're operating under this notion of like, I don't need to be productive in December is a time for me to receive rather than to produce, which is really nice. Yeah, I think this could be a really good month for you to connect spiritually and to create as well. Like I'm getting a lot of messages for pile number 2. I'm getting that, if you are somebody who unwinds and your form of self-care is to create art, that's definitely something that you should consider doing in December. If your self-care involves spiritual practices, that's something that you should consider as well. That's something that I'm getting. But a lot of really social, I think you might be very popular in December. Like you might get a lot of invitations to a lot of different places. It's just very nice energy. It's really, really nice energy for pile number 2. I'm excited for you. So let's look at your career. So we've got the 9 of Wands in reverse and the Queen of Pentacles. Yeah, I'm getting that exactly. I'm getting this energy of like, I've worked hard enough for like, it's kind of, I think a lot of people in this pile, you've worked your butts off in 2020. Like you worked and worked and worked and just you grinded and hustled so hard that you're kind of like, how would you say it? I've neglected my self-care. I've neglected my rest. I've neglected time to look after myself. I'm also hearing kind of like wanting to spend a month maybe like establishing a new skincare routine, wanting to establish a new workout routine. Like you want to look after your physical body, you want to look after like your routine. You want to establish a routine outside of your job, outside of your hustling or any side hustle that you have. You want to establish some sort of resting period for yourself. You're really noticing that work has been taking a lot from you. So for some of you, you could be a little bit on the workaholic side, or you might just be somebody who was very called to do a lot for your career this year. I know I was, so I do relate to this pile a lot. So it's kind of like I relate to this pile as well because I've made a conscious decision to take an extended break in December. So I feel like this is I really relate to you, pile number 2. I really relate to your energy. Like I'm done grinding for the year. Like this is my reward. It's kind of like your reward to rest, to relax, to meet up with people you haven't seen in ages, to laugh and not think about work, not think about like how much you're gonna earn, not think about what the business strategy is. If you're like a business owner, you're just like, I don't want to think. It's kind of like, it reminds me of like the no thought November when it was going around as a trend. It's like no thinking, only iced coffee and self-care. So I think that's something that pile 2 is really looking forward to. It's kind of funny. I think you're funny, pile 2, because you do work really, really hard, and I feel this kind of exhaustion off this pile. But in December, it's like no thoughts, only iced coffee and fun and socializing and relaxing. So it's going to be, you're going to get to have that relaxing month. I do think, because with the Queen of Pentacles in reverse, I do feel like you're going to be avoiding work, avoiding thinking about money, avoiding thinking about your pentacles. So let's have a look at your romance. So for your romance, we've got the 5 of Swords in reverse. Oh, okay. So some of you might be getting an apology of some sort to do with love. So for some of you, this might be a large apology. This could be an apology that you maybe thought you'd never even get. That's something that I'm hearing. For some of you, this could be an apology that you're not expecting. For some reason, that's coming through. It's like an apology that maybe you dreamed about getting and you hoped to get some closure, but this is not something that you thought you'd ever get. This largely feels like maybe this is coming from an ex, or this could be coming from somebody that, you know, ghosted you or something like that. But I do feel like there's going to be some sort of, maybe even a reconciliation of some sort. This could be a reconciliation through the socializing energy, because we do have this, there's a lot of socializing for you in December. So you might bump into someone who you used to know or used to hang out with, or you used to be in a relationship with, and it could kind of be a catalyst for them to offer some sort of apology or some sort of truce or some sort of reconciliation. I do feel like you're going to feel really good about your love life, and not in this kind of fairy tale fun light. It kind of feels like you're going to feel like you're releasing a lot of traumas to do with your love life. You're going to feel like you're releasing a lot of worries about your love life that you maybe had in the past. So maybe on a spiritual level, you're going through some sort of release as well. But I do feel for those of you in a relationship, maybe this is your partner apologizing for something that they've done, or maybe your partner doing something nice for you. Or maybe they're changing their pattern of the way that they used to act. Maybe there's something that your partner used to do that made you feel uncomfortable or made you feel upset, and they're consciously like I really feel it's kind of like this offering of like, let's get on and let's I know we had problems in the past, but let's make things better this time around. So this could be your partner deciding to change a certain pattern of ways that they've been acting or that they used to act around you, and you're really going to notice a change in them. This could even pertain to you as well. You know, if you're mirroring your partner, you could be the same. You could be in this kind of state of, you know, we're both actively changing who we are so that we can be a better couple and work better together. And especially with the 3 of Cups here, I feel like you're going to work really well with people in your life. You're going to want to work really well with people in your life. I feel like December could in general be a really good month for forgiveness. For some of you, this could even pertain to friends. For some of you, this could be, you know, maybe you want forgiveness from a friend, or a friend wants forgiveness from you. You know, it might be an ex-friend that you're meeting up with or something like that. There's a lot of energy of like, let's forgive each other and let's move on. A real mature energy, even though there's a lot of celebration and fun and happiness and like kind of like running around, but also like resting. I do feel like you're going to feel largely forgiving of other people, and you're going to kind of hope for the same from other people as well. Okay, so let's look at your spirituality, and then we'll go to your tea leaf cards. So we've got the 10 of Cups, beautiful, and the Queen of Cups. Honestly, this is going to be a so much needed break for yourself, for your self-care. December is going to be a much, much needed break. Just take your time, take the rest. Like if you are resting in December and that's something that you have planned, make sure you don't break that promise to yourself. That's something that I'm hearing. You're gonna emerge from December feeling very emotionally fulfilled. So I do feel like relationships, any forgiveness that you offer or any apology that you get in December is going to be hugely emotionally satisfying to you. I think you're really going to be looking at your personal relationships and making peace. Even if people don't ask you for forgiveness, like it's not to say that every single person that ever hurt you is going to rush into your life to ask you for forgiveness. But this could be this energy that people could come in, or one person could come in and ask you for forgiveness and say, look, I'm really sorry for what I did. And it's going to give you the strength and the compassion and the release that you're going to feel with one person. It's kind of like you had that closure with them. You're going to be able to have a closure with other people that didn't necessarily ask you for forgiveness, but you'll just forgive them on your side. You're going to close that chapter on your side and you're going to move on. So, it's kind of like, on the surface level, your December is going to be really fun and full of rest and loads of sleep. I'm getting loads of sleep, especially like I'm getting with this Queen of Cups for some reason. She's kind of like in this night sky. I feel like loads of sleep and maybe even processing certain things through sleep, processing certain traumas or certain issues that happen between, partners or friends through sleep in your dream state. Just really compassionate energy from you, pile 2. I think you're going to feel a lot more compassionate towards yourself. I think that's the most important thing. Like, you have compassion for yourself, so you're able to dig up that compassion for other people as well now. Okay, let's look at the tea leaf cards and then we're going to move on. Sunrise. Okay, but the sunrise makes me think as well, it's like, it's nighttime when you go to sleep, and it's kind of like December, you're going to sleep. Even though you're like partying and you're having fun, you're going to sleep, you're going for a rest. You're not thinking about your career, you're not thinking about your life path. You're kind of like, I'm in a rest period now, and you're going to sleep. And after December, the sun will come out again and you'll be refreshed. It's kind of like December is going to be a long night where you're just going for a rest, and you're then coming out in January almost like as this new year is almost like a new day, and you feel super revitalized, you feel super fresh. Super fresh. We've also got dark man, dealings or a relationship with a man of dark complexion or hair. So there could be a male involved that could be an ex that's coming back and asking for your forgiveness. Or this could be a friend that's coming back and asking for your forgiveness. This seems to be a male energy that's coming through. So whatever way that resonates, whether it's a friend or a partner or an ex-partner, there could be a man that's coming back and wanting to ask for your forgiveness. And then we've also got news on the way. So news on the way makes me think of communication, maybe unexpected communication. So to me, this kind of feels like maybe this person could reach out through, just messaging you and just texting you or calling you out of nowhere. Or I do feel like for some of you, this could be that you actually bump into this person. Maybe they don't actually apologize to you when you bump into them, but maybe something like almost this social gathering acts as a catalyst and they reach out to you after the social gathering or the next day. So, but the big theme here is rest, rejuvenation, forgiveness, and enjoying your December and having fun. It's not about grinding, it's not about hustling, it's not about, working really hard and thinking about what's my next step on my path. It's about kind of like receiving and stepping back and letting yourself take a little recharge. So really cool. I'm really excited for you, pile number 2. I really enjoyed this reading. I think you're going to have a really lovely December. But I'm going to move on. So we've got pile number 3 next. So pile number 3, let's see what is going on. So we've got the general energy here first, then we're going to go into your finances, career, and love life, and we're going to get started here. So we've got healing, candle flame, burn the sour, bring to me your healing power. We've also got the Queen of Swords in reverse, and we've got the Two of Pentacles upright. Okay, let me think. Healing your mind is something that's coming through. So some of you might be doing a lot of therapy in December. You might be doing a lot of therapy, or, working with a counselor, working with a guidance person. That's something that's coming through. You could be working with somebody on actively healing your mind and healing your thought process. For some of you, this could be, you looking into your mental health. Maybe you're looking at certain tendencies that you have with your mental health, whether it's to do with overthinking, anxiety, whatever it is. You're really starting to look at patterns and at tendencies within yourself so that you can catch them early. For a lot of you, this is not an easy decision as well. For some reason, I'm hearing that it's not an easy decision to heal yourself, because maybe you've been very ashamed of like the way that your mind works. But in reality, what I'm hearing is like the way that your mind works, it just works. It's so unique the way that your mind works. That's something that's coming through. And I think in December, you're realizing that rather than being ashamed, you're another overthinking pile. So if you were attracted to pile number 1, you might feel connected to pile number 1. If you were attracted to it, maybe check it out. If you weren't attracted to it, don't. But I'm getting a very strong energy that your overthinking is your strength as well as your weakness. It's kind of like a symbiotic energy, and that's a very similar energy that was coming up in pile number 1. And maybe a lot of people are realizing this, because a lot of us are overthinkers. It's not like a very small percentage of the population are overthinkers. If anything, I would say most people are overthinkers. So I think a lot of us are realizing that our overthinking and our tendency to have many thoughts at once that overburden us can also be our strength, because if we can have, as I said in pile number 1, if we have the capacity to overthink on all these negative things and everything that could possibly go wrong, we also have the possibility and the potential to overthink on all the things that can possibly go right. We just need to reprogram our mind. There's a lot of multitasking energy as well. I think you're going to be trying to multitask, but without overwhelming yourself. You're going to be trying to multitask and try out different methods. So for example, if you are looking into therapy, you might be doing something like you're doing, maybe you're going on meds as well as therapy. Maybe you are also getting into spirituality. Maybe you're doing a bit of the two, or maybe you're just trying different variations of things to see what's right for you. And I think that's there's a natural flow that you're trying to work out for your mental health. Like, does meditation work for me? Does therapy work for me, with a counselor? Does group therapy work for me? Do meds work for me? What do I need in order? What's the combination? What's the perfect kind of like golden ratio that I need in order to keep my mind occupied enough and resolve these kind of like nets that I have in my mind? You're really looking after yourself mentally in December. You're really looking after yourself mentally. You're really putting everything else on the back burner. You're kind of like mental health first, my own mind, clarity of my own mind first. Even if you're not going to therapy per se, you could be just deciding to get clear on what you want, get clear on what you want from life rather than what other people want for you in life. So I think December, you're really getting clear with yourself, and you're like you're putting everything else on the back burner, and you're going, before I figure out whatever else, my career, my relationship, my job, I'm going to figure out what my mind needs, what my mental state needs. And I'm going to heal that. So for some of you, you could even be healing certain traumas that affected your mind. Some of you could be healing certain traumas, or unraveling certain traumas. Maybe you're some of you could be trying to remember what happened in the past. So the way sometimes when you go through a trauma, you could forget a lot. You can forget chunks out of your childhood or whenever that trauma happened. Maybe there's parts of you that is trying to remember and trying to piece puzzle pieces together. But really what's important here is that you are looking after your mental health and you're looking after your mental state. That's the most important thing to you. So let's have a look at your career. Knight of Cups and the World card in reverse. I'm really feeling for pile number 3. I'm getting that you might be quite busy in December, because while you're trying to heal your mind and it is in the forefront, I think you're also thinking about career in the kind of like at the back of your mind. And I think that there's going to be some sort of offer for your career. So some of you could be getting really good news about a new job or some sort of job opportunity that you've really, really wanted to grasp. I think there's going to be a really good opportunity coming your way in December to do with your job. This is a very emotionally fulfilling opportunity. It may not necessarily be cash money type of opportunity, but it's an opportunity that will make you feel accomplished, that will make you feel like you are raising to the top. It will not quite, with the World card in reverse, it will not quite make you feel super accomplished, like that you've completed your career or your path, but it'll really make you feel like it's giving you a push towards completion. It's kind of like, maybe this opportunity is not exactly what you wanted, but this opportunity definitely still makes you feel good, and it's still, you kind of feel very grateful for it. I'm seeing a lot of gratitude for your career as well. I think you're going to be practicing gratitude. So maybe some of you have picked up for yourself a gratitude journal. I'm seeing a lot of writing, so you might be writing things down a lot for yourself. You're making lists again with this the fact that I said manifesting energy, maybe you're trying to manifest something as well, but I meant to say multitasking energy. With the multitasking energy, maybe you're making lists so that your brain doesn't get overwhelmed. So you're like, what do I need to get done today? What do I need to get done tomorrow? What am I grateful for today? There's a lot of gratitude. There's a lot of happiness. There's a lot of gentleness with yourself. And again, this happiness didn't come to you easily. Like, you are actively making yourself or pushing yourself into this state of happiness. You're actively pushing yourself into this state of gratitude. And again, it's not to say that you should always just, fake happiness or, partake in this toxic positivity. I don't think this is toxic positivity. I think you're acknowledging negative thoughts. I think you're acknowledging negative thought patterns. I think you're acknowledging all the negative things and traumas that have happened to you previously, but you're also stepping back and going, but what am I grateful for on the counter? As a contrary, what am I grateful for? Maybe there's a good exercise for you to write out all the things that you feel wronged you and you feel really sad that happened to you. And then you could also put down on the other page or something like that, everything you're grateful for. And maybe even how these bad things maybe even allowed you to have the things that you're now grateful for. I feel like you understanding, especially with this two of Pentacles, there's not one without the other. It's kind of like this understanding that there's no happiness without pain and there's no pain without happiness. The two need to coexist together. And I think that understanding is very healing for you. I think pile number 3, you might have a very spiritual month in December where you're really profoundly understanding a lot of concepts that have been crucial themes in your life. So for example, the good and the bad, the evil, the traumatic, and the healing. Like, there's no healing without trauma. There's no, pain without happiness, no happiness without pain. All these things, how intertwined they are and how they intertwine together in this beautiful, in this beautiful thing we call life. But I do feel like there's a real profound understanding of life happening in December for pile number 3. Very spiritual. You might be going through like another spiritual awakening or a first spiritual awakening in December and really seeing a lot of truths for yourself. Again, you're not quite there yet. It's not to say that in December you're done with your spiritual awakening. This could be just the beginning of a spiritual awakening in December. You might be moving further into even more of a spiritual awakening in January. Let's see what your love life has to tell us. So for your love life, I'm seeing that, I like this energy, because again, with the healing and with kind of breaking through your overthinking mind or overthinking patterns, you're also breaking through you've had some preconceived ideas of what your relationship has to look like. So if you're single, you might have had some preconceived notions of how your relationships are meant to look like, what they're meant to be like, how you're meant to operate within them. And I think you're breaking out of that. You're kind of asking yourself, but why do I have to operate a certain way? You maybe you used to think that your partner has to have a certain job or have a certain income, and you're kind of saying like, why do I believe that? Why is that something? Is what if that's the thing that's blocking me from finding love? Maybe you believe that your partner should be taller or shorter than you. You're deciding, why am I why did I believe that? That is like, that could be a blockage that's stopping me from meeting my perfect partner. And I think there's a lot of questions being asked here. You're asking yourself a lot of questions, and you're answering them yourself as well. You're kind of like becoming your own guru. That's something that I'm getting. Like you're becoming your own spiritual teacher in a way as well, pile number 3. And you're able to really break through a lot of molds that you've created for yourself, other people created for you. In December, it's a real you're breaking through again. Like, we've got this Rapunzel, and she's stuck in a castle, and I kind of feel like you're breaking out of that castle. It's kind of like when Rapunzel finally runs away, and she's finally realizing there's so much more to life than what her preconceived idea and her limiting beliefs have made her to believe that there was. So really cool energy. I feel like this energy is very calming as well. Like I feel very calm doing your reading. So I think these breakthroughs, they're not going to be, it's not a tower energy, it's not again, we're going to see, maybe there's a tower in there somewhere in the spiritual cards, but we'll see. But it's not really a tower energy. It's more so this energy of like, whew, I feel free. I feel a lot more free than I did like November or October. I feel like I'm not setting unnecessary boundaries on myself as I said that, I'm also getting like a tickle on my hand. So I wonder if that means something. Like, just got a ever so slight tickle on my hand here. So again, you just don't want to be setting any boundaries. You don't want to set any boundaries on yourself. You don't want to you kind of want to be this boundless being in December, and you're only realizing this in December. So this is only the beginning, and that's beautiful. And I think there's going to be some sort of offer for your career, which could really make you feel, maybe in the past, if you got this offer or opportunity in your career, you would have went, oh no, like it's not a good enough opportunity, and it's not something that I envision myself seeing. I'm not that type of person. I'm not going to go for this opportunity. And that's why you had to wait to get this opportunity until December, because in December you're like, why not? I should just take up this opportunity because, I got an opportunity to become like a skydiving instructor. Why not? What stops me? Why shouldn't I be? So that's the energy that I'm getting for you. So let's look at your spiritual cards. So we've got the 2 of Cups in reverse. Yeah, I'm definitely seeing like you're questioning why you sometimes would deem people incompatible to you. And you're kind of you're questioning why you would sometimes deem like a friend or a partner incompatible to you. Was it always for good reasons, or was it sometimes for reasons that you've just instilled onto yourself? Like, that it was not to say that you were shallow or anything like that, but maybe you put a boundary on yourself. Like, if you go out with a person who's this certain like status or of this certain way of living, it's just not who you are. You're not allowed to do that, even though you may have potentially truly liked this person, So you're really questioning, like, why did I set these boundaries on myself with people, with jobs? You're questioning who you believed yourself to be prior to December. You're kind of going, why did I believe myself to be this person? And why did I keep trying to stay this person? It's like, when you try to stick to a character that maybe another person has given you in the past, maybe your parents told you that you were somebody who was very rigid and type A, and that's just the way your life is, and you're just type A and you like everything organized, and you went along with that. But maybe at the back of your head, you always knew that you were more type B than they realized, and you're like, I'm actually a lot more laid back, but you didn't allow yourself to become this type B person and become more laid back because you wanted to fulfill that character role that your parents gave you. And I think that's something that you're really thinking through. And we've got the Princess of Cups here. Again, the Princess of Cups makes me think of like early stage of a spiritual awakening. So I don't think I don't think this is going to be a spiritual awakening. I'm not saying that this is your first spiritual awakening. For some of you, I think it could be, but I think for a lot of you, this is another spiritual awakening. You've had some before, but it's an early stage of a spiritual awakening. So I think 2021 should be fun, because I think you're going to be kind of in the depths of it in 2021 within your spiritual awakening, which is really cool. It's kind of like early stages, and if you've been through a spiritual awakening before, I think you're probably going to recognize that that's what it is. If you haven't, and this is your first time, you're really becoming very boundless, and you're really becoming so aware that you can be anybody you want to be, and nobody can put you into this like box. Nobody can put you in a castle, like, you know, the way Rapunzel, and tell you that like you can only live in that castle. You're like, no, I can literally live anywhere I want. I can do anything I want. I can be with any type of person that I want. I define who I am. And this is a very powerful pile. It kind of started out slow, and I think maybe that's the way you start your December. You start slow, and by healing and journaling, and you get into this full-blown spiritual awakening in January. You're like fully ready to be like, no, whatever you set out for me, whatever character, you know, mom or dad, or, you know, even your friends or your partner, you're like, this is not. And again, I know I skimmed over love very quickly, because it's just not about that in December. It's not about love. Possibly career could be fairly important, but it's not about anybody but you and your mental state, as I said at the start of the reading. So really cool reading. I really enjoyed it. I feel so kind of like invigorated after doing this reading. It kind of started out calm, and then it went into full-blown, you know, empowerment mode, which I really love. I forgot to pull tea leaf cards for you. I think you're okay without tea leaf cards. I might pull one for pile number 3, because I really don't think it's about the little nitty gritty details. Forces working against you. I think this is you realizing that you've been working against yourself. This is largely, when I pull this card, it talks about you working against yourself. So again, it resonates with pile 3's energy of you realize that you've been working against yourself because you've been given certain roles to play, and you just played them without questioning it. So really cool, pile number 3. I really love doing your reading. So I'm going to move on. So pile number 4, let's get into it. Pile number 4. Let's see, pile number 4. What is your December going to be like? This is turning out to be a very long reading, but I'm really enjoying doing this. So let's get into pile number 4. We've got strength, stability in the sour, endurance, stamina, I am power. And we've also got the 10 of Pentacles in reverse. Ooh, this is like, I'm getting a very why did I say that? I really got a very strong message of you're standing up against tradition. You're standing up against what your parents wanted you to do, or people around you, just in general, your inner circle wanted you to be or wanted you to do. And you're really going, no, I'm not doing that. I know you expect me to do this, but I'm not doing that. I'm not interested. And again, it doesn't have to be very combative. It doesn't have to be very combative, or it doesn't have to be very argumentative in the way that you do it. It could be a very peaceful way of standing up and going like, I'm just not doing that. That's not something I'm interested in. But nonetheless, I think that's your feelings. You're kind of feeling like, no, I'm not doing that. I'm not interested in doing that. This is not something that I want to pursue. So this could be traditionally, maybe you're meant to, in your family, maybe you're expected to get married and have children, and that's not what you want to do. Or it could be that they're expecting you to take over the family business, or, maybe all of your family are lawyers or doctors and they want you to be a lawyer or doctor, and you're like, no, I don't want to be. And I think you're going to feel very, very empowered. There's going to be there's a real sense of individuality in pile number 4. A real sense of individuality and a real sense of this, like, I'm ready to do what I want to do with my life. And again, I kind of feel like it seems like a theme running through December, that people are really standing up and feeling really riled up, like, no, I'm gonna dictate my own life. You're not going to tell me what to do. Again, it's kind of like rebellious teenager energy, like, but collectively, so I think you're really channeling that energy. And again, rebellious teenager energy is not bad. It's needed. A lot of the time when teenagers teenagers rebel, it's very much needed because they need to show their parents who they truly are and who they are in their own right outside of the family, outside of the circle. So I think you're breaking out of the what's been projected onto you. You want to do your own thing. You're not going to follow tradition in December. You're wanting to do something different for yourself. So let's have a look and see what is going on with your career. We've got the Ace of Cups. Oh, okay, this pile is kind of cool because I feel like for pile number 4, you are going to go and do what you want to do emotionally and what's going to satisfy you emotionally. So for example, rather than money career, rather than something that's going to give you like that stable career, you know, whatever stable means, you know, at the end of the day, I think you as a person, pile number 4, you want to be someone who does what they love and not does something that they do just for the sake of getting a paycheck every week or every month and moving on. And I think you're really standing in that. You're really standing powerfully in that. Maybe you've been hiding that away. Maybe you've been doing work of art, or you've been writing songs, creating music, and you've been hiding it away. But I think in December, you're kind of like, here I am. This is what I do. This is who I am as a person. You know, whether you like it or not, this is. You're kind of brave about showing up in the world as exactly who you are. You're really all about showing up in your authenticity in December. And I think career-wise as well, maybe you quit a career, you quit a job that was more about money and stability, and you went for something that you're truly passionate about. You truly have all this energy to put into this career because you feel invigorated by this career. This is a really empowered energy in pile number 4. It's like, I know what I want to do and I'm going to do it, whether it brings me a lot of money or whether it brings me a little money. I want to do this because I'm passionate about it, because I feel creative when I do it, because I feel full of emotion, or, you know, full of that emotional satisfaction when I do it. It could be that maybe your family expected you to go into a certain career, maybe like friends or your inner circle just expected you to go into a certain career and you said no, and that's just something that you're sticking by and you're standing by it, and you're very how would I say it? You're very proud of going for it. You're proud. It's not like you went for it and you took a risk and you're kind of like, oh yeah, I took a risk, but what if it doesn't pay off? You're proud that you took this risk. You're proud to talk about it. I feel like it's something that maybe some of you are spiritual workers or tarot workers, tarot readers. Whatever you do, maybe you've been kind of like, I know I have been in the past, like feeling a little bit insecure about talking about tarot and the fact that I read tarot. Sometimes you feel a little bit judged and you're kind of like, oh, I don't want to explain myself. But I'm seeing that you're gonna be like, I'm a tarot reader, and then if people like try to ask you to explain, you're like, I'm not gonna explain it. Like, there's nothing to explain. I read tarot. Like, you know, if you say you're a doctor, you know, and again, it's obviously if people ask you to explain nicely and there's no judgment, obviously, I think it's fine to explain it. But I think it's like when people are judgmental, you're just going to be like, I'm not explaining. I don't owe you an explanation. I do what I love, and that's all that matters. And I think you are going to love your career in December. Like, you're going to enjoy doing whatever you're doing for money, whatever you're doing as your life path in December, which is beautiful. Okay, let's move into your love life. So for your love life, we've got the Queen of Wands. Queen of Wands. You really are the Queen of Wands with the strength, with this. And the Queen of Wands, I love that we have the Strength card from these magical spell cards, but we also got the Queen of Wands, which always reminds me in this deck of the Strength card. I'm getting this feeling that you're going to feel very attractive regardless of whether you're in a relationship or you're single, or you have people on your mind, you don't have people on your mind. You're going to feel attractive in the month of December. You're going to feel good looking. You're going to feel like you have the best dress sense. You're going to feel like your hair is amazing. You're going to be so at home in your body. I'm getting a real, like, I feel good about myself. And it doesn't matter if, like, my partner likes me. And again, it's not to say that your partner doesn't like you or whatever, but it doesn't matter how many people are in love with me, how people are not in love with me. All that I know is that I'm in love with myself. You're feeling yourself in December, pile number 4. You really are. You're feeling yourself. You feel really empowered. You feel really attractive. You feel very in your element. And it's all because you're doing something that you love. I think you're going to be feeling very creative, pile number 4. Creativity is a really big theme that's coming through here for me with the Ace of Cups and the Queen of Wands. Very creative, very imaginative cards for me. Queen of Wands is super, super creative. And the Queen of Wands makes me think of magic and makes me think of esoterics as well. So maybe some of you who picked pile number 4, you really are a tarot reader or a spiritual worker or, you know, a shadow worker, whatever it is that you do. You're so in your element when you do it. And I feel like the fact that you do this career, or the fact when you do this kind of creative project or this career, it actually makes you feel more attractive, even though it doesn't have anything to do with attractiveness. It kind of like informs your confidence. I think a lot of people are going to be giving you like compliments on your appearance and how you look, that you shine. There's going to be like a real radiant energy coming from you when it comes to December. I think a lot of people are going to note how good you look, but I'm feeling like this, you're going to be confident, but you're not going to be cocky, especially because I'm being reminded of the Strength card. And the Strength card makes me think of like real quiet confidence. It's like, you know that you are the bomb, but you don't need to shout it from the rooftops. And again, sometimes it's good to shout it from the rooftops. Like, one or the other is not better than the other, you know? This is just something that I'm picking up on. I think you're going to feel, it's kind of like there's a little bit, not to say that you're smug or anything like that, but I do feel like you're going to feel a little bit of smugness. Like, yeah, people are admiring me and people are liking me. And maybe you're going to notice that a lot of people have a crush on you or something, or like a couple of people are into you, and you're going to be like, yeah, of course they do. Of course they do, because I'm popping, because I'm so cool, because I'm doing what I love to do, because I have the perfect career, because I'm standing in my own power. Of course they like me. Of course they have feelings for me. Why wouldn't they? It's just such like a little bit of a smug energy, but it's kind of endearing to me. I think it's quite fun. Like, you're in a really flirtatious energy, I think, as well. In December, you're going to be flirting with people. If you're in a partnership, your relationship might be really flirty with each other. There's a lot of care and affection and attention, and I think you're just going to feel really admired. You're going to feel like, you know, people are really like looking at you like you're a work of art almost. not in a objectifying way, but people are like appreciating how much you're radiating light and how much you're radiating this happiness that you're doing something you love, and like it's really apparent in you. So now let's have a look into your spirituality before we go to your tea leaf cards. We've got the 7 of Swords. 7 of Swords. That's quite, it's interesting because it's such positive energy that I'm feeling for you for December, contrasted with the 7 of Swords. Let me think. 7 of Swords. I'm hearing that be careful. That's one thing that I am seeing, because you're so in your element spiritually. Protect your energy. Protect your energy in December, because a lot of people are going to notice. Those people that are admiring you are going to notice, but also people that are going to be jealous of you. I'm getting jealousy. I'm getting people wanting what you have, but people don't realize that what you have is not acquired by, in an easy way. They don't realize that you had to really stand in your power and really knock. And I'm getting a ringing in my ear, so this is a huge confirmation that you had to really break down a lot of boundaries. You had to go through a lot of overthinking. You had to go through a lot of doubting yourself. You had to go through those difficulties in order to get to the state of this Queen of Wands who loves who she is and stands in your power. And people who think that it's just so easy, they want it they don't realize that you've been through it in order to be at this point in life in December. So just be careful, like the evil eye and all of that kind of stuff. Be very careful with your energy. Protect your energy. If somebody tries to knock you down, again, as I said, if you don't feel like you need to explain yourself to anyone in December, and really stick to that, like, I don't need to explain myself because I'm happy, and the right people are not going to need an explanation from me, because I don't owe an explanation to anyone. And I think that's something that you need to remember in December. So just be careful with protecting your energy. I think that's the one thing that I'm getting spiritually for you, pile number 4. Okay, let's see. Okay, we've got successful outcome to your problems. Like, you're really finding a lot of success, and again, the key word is to your problems. Like, you've had problems. It's not like you just got this, it's not like angels just dropped it down to you on a pillow, this love of what you do, this job that you love, this beauty. I'm seeing a lot of glow up energy. So like this glow up, this radiant energy, angels didn't just like flutter down to you and bring you this energy on a pillow and like dressed you in this energy. You cultivated it yourself with the help of your angels, I'm sure, but you cultivated this yourself. We've got period of prosperity and abundance. Exactly. You're going to be prosperous. You're going to be feeling abundant. And it doesn't even feel financial to me. Financial part of it can be a part of it. But I feel like it's more so that you are abundance. And that's something that you're channeling in December. So make sure you stay in that energy and protect yourself from those that are jealous of what you have, because they don't realize how hard it is to come by it, So that is my pile number 4. So we're going to move on to pile number 5. So pile number 5, let's see what is going on in December. We're going to start with general energy, and then we're going to move into the specifics. We also have tea leaf cards to look into. So first of all, we've got health. Mother Earth sweet, Mother Earth bright, bring me your health and might. And we've also got Page of Swords. I'm getting this a lot. I've gotten this not in the last 3 piles, but this is my 3rd pile getting this. Mental health. I feel like maybe a lot of us are really focusing on mental health in December, but this has been a theme in 2 other piles. Pile 3 and pile 1, in fact. So if you were attracted to any of those piles, maybe you want to look at them as well. If you weren't, just leave it. I don't like saying like, oh, you should check out this other pile. If you weren't attracted to it, it wasn't for you. If you were attracted to it, maybe there's a message there for you as well. But I do feel like this is going to be a very but I think what the difference is for you, pile number 5, with mental health, is that maybe you've already had the prep. Like it kind of felt like maybe the prep was more so happening in pile 1 and 3 towards a better mental health. It's kind of like you're maintaining a mental health stability for yourself. You already know what you need in order to keep your mental health on a good level and in balance. You already know what you have to do, and you're just maintaining it. I'm also seeing communication is going to be a big theme for you in December. You're going to be communicating possibly with a lot of people, but what I'm getting is that you're going to be communicating effectively. There's a lot of effective communication happening for pile number 5. A lot of effective information being exchanged, and you really using that information for your best benefit as well, which kind of correlates with the collective reading. There was a lot of energy of seeking information, almost being this investigator who tries to get information out of any situation. I think collectively that's something that we're feeling, but I think maybe you are able to relate to that collective energy a little bit more, where you might be a little bit of an investigator in December. You're trying to collect energy. Maybe you're researching something. I'm getting a strong energy of you possibly being interested in research about mental health, or you're researching other topics in order to fulfill some sort of goal. And I think that's going to be very important for you. Yeah. So that's the general energy, a little bit of an investigator energy, a communicator, and looking after your mental health. But let's go into the details. We're going into your career and money. We've got the Death card, and we've got the Empress card in reverse. Okay, so the Death card, Let me think. Transformation in your career, something ending in your career path. Maybe you're doing research because you're trying to figure out what type of career you'd like to do. I'm getting a very quick confirmation that that's what it is. I feel like you are going to be researching. The reason that you're researching so much and investigating so much, and we've got Scorpio energy here with the Death card as well, is because you are possibly very tired of your career because you feel like this career no longer nurtures you or fulfills you. So you are interested, maybe it's kind of like, when you're in a job or in a career and you know that it's not for you anymore and you know that you're not interested in anymore, but you also don't really necessarily know what you want. So you might be in this mode of researching and investigating, like, what do I want for my career? What do I want for my job? What do I want to do for a living? And as a result, maybe finding out what you want, quitting your job, or maybe thinking about quitting your job and being ready for the next chapter. It's not dramatic, just seeing the Death card, don't think that it's something scary. This feels largely almost pragmatic. This feels like it's almost like a plan that you're establishing for yourself. It doesn't feel emotional. It doesn't feel, maybe you are sick of your job, but this doesn't feel like I'm so sick of my job, I'm just going to quit it and I'm going to run away. And and again, nothing wrong with that. I've done that plenty of times. But I do feel like in this energy, there's a very strong pragmatic planning that you're doing. It's not that maybe you're sick of your job, but you're also like, okay, I need a plan before I quit this job, before I go for something else. So I think some of you could be applying for jobs like crazy, applying for different jobs. Some of you could be planning what kind of jobs you want to apply for. Maybe you're trying to get an apprenticeship. You're really trying to figure out what do I want my career to look like in 5 or 10 years. Big focus on your career for sure. Two major arcanas in your career here. So I feel like December could be a really good time for you to reevaluate what is it that I want from my career? How do I want to see myself in 5 and 10 years? Where do I want to be? What do I want to have? What goals do I want to have achieved? And I think you're going to be very seriously talking to yourself about it. And I don't think it's going to be emotional. Again, I want to point that out. I feel like it's going to be largely logical and pragmatic. Like, am I happy where I am right now? And this could be even that you're happy in the general career path that you're in, but you're not exactly happy with the exact things that you're doing right now. And you're kind of like you're maybe restructuring your business. Like maybe you have a business and you're trying to restructure the way that your business operates. Even if you are a creator, like let's say even a YouTube creator, you might be restructuring the type of content that you are putting out. You're changing things and you're kind of like planning, like, am I going to lose subscribers because I'm going to change my content? That's okay. I can afford to lose subscribers. I'd like to change my content anyway because it feels like I'll be more authentic to who I am. So there could be a lot of like reprogramming for yourself. But again, it feels largely logical. It feels largely like you are putting pieces together and looking at your career and your life path from a more removed point of view. You're not getting emotionally invested in your planning. Even though I do think you are emotionally invested in your career path, you're just trying not to be emotionally invested in the planning stages of what's next for you. So let's see what is going on in your love life. So I'm pretty sure you're the only pile that got 2 love cards for your love life, which is interesting. We've got the Page of Coins in reverse and we've got the 7 of Wands. A lot of you could be standing your ground on something. I'm getting strong. Again, I'm getting a lot of communication energy coming through here. Maybe you are demanding communication from your partner. I think you are a natural communicator. I think you naturally, and even the way I'm talking, I feel like my speaking has sped up since I started doing this pile, specifically pile number 5. I think you do speak quite eloquently. I think you speak quite fast. You have a very natural speech pattern. And I feel like your communication style in general is something that should be commended. Like, you are a good communicator. But on the other side is that you struggle with people who are not good communicators. So anytime that you're in a relationship with somebody, I feel like most people are not as good communicators as you are. It's almost, again, you're able to remove yourself from your emotions when you communicate, and you're able to just give off, like, this is what I want to communicate to you, this is what I want to say to you, I'm not getting emotionally involved, I'm just telling you what I need. And I think a lot of people might take it to heart because, general public, and like I'll even say myself, I can be quite sensitive or quite emotional when I'm communicating. So I think you're not like that. I think you're very pragmatic and, again, logical. There's a lot of logical energy in this pile. But I do feel like you are standing your ground and maintaining that you need better communication in your relationship. So you might be demanding more communication or better communication with your partner, current partner, or maybe you're working on your communication. You're working on making your communication healthy with your partner. That's something that could be coming through here with the health card. You're trying to have a healthy relationship. And again, the better the communication, the healthier the relationship. And I think that's something you really believe in. That's something that you really stand for. And I think that's something that you're standing your ground on with a potential partner or a partner. For those of you that are single, maybe you are interested in having more communication with a potential love interest. That could be something that's coming through as well. So love life in general, I feel like there's just this need to communicate more with whoever you have your feelings towards, with whoever you have love or a crush with or a love interest. You're wanting to have more communication. Maybe you are in a state where you have a crush and you have a love interest, and you tend to type out the message to this person. You want to type out a message and you want to say, how you feel, and you end up deleting it because you're like, oh, they won't understand anyway, because they might get scared off or whatever, or you might feel like they might get too emotionally invested. Again, I'm getting a very logical energy from you, pile number 5. You don't want things to get too emotional in December. For some reason, that's coming through. Like, you don't want things to get too emotional. It's almost like you already have a plan for what you want to achieve in December and how you want to plan more in December. So you don't want to get yourself into an emotional situation. You don't want to get yourself into an emotional state of mind. You want to kind of keep things simple and logical in December. So love life, you're trying to kind of stand on that stay away from emotion in a way. So, if that's something that works for you, I'm not getting you bottling emotions. I'm not getting anything unhealthy. It's more so like you actually are being very healthy with the health card here. You're being very healthy with your mental health. You're being very healthy in your relationships. You're being very healthy in your career, but you really it's almost like I need some space to think. I just need some space to gather myself. And I think that's the process that you're going through in December, kind of like just needing a little time out to just gather all your things again and plan and make projections for 2021. I think maybe you need to set a budget. There's this energy that you're very logical and you like to have your ducks in a row, so that's probably something you're trying to accomplish in 2020, or not 2021 in December, but probably 2021 as well. Okay, but let's look at your spirituality. We've got the 5 of Swords. I'm getting a very strong energy actually here. There's one thing that I'm getting for you, pile number 5. You're going to be thinking about past conflicts. You're going to be thinking about past conflicts with people. I feel like maybe there's even a love relationship in your life or a romantic interest in your life. Somebody maybe you're romantically interested in, or somebody you've had a love connection with before that you've had some sort of conflict with. And you want to stand by what you said. You want to stand by what the information that you wanted to give them. You want to stand by your belief in your conflicts, but you also want to maybe possibly even express that, I understand it didn't come out in the most empathetic way. Again, I feel like a lot of the time when you communicate in a very cut and dry way, and it can hurt other people's feelings, but your intention is not of that. Your intention is to just, you kind of have a problem, you want a solution, but along the way a lot of people do need to have their feelings taken into account, and I think maybe sometimes you forget to do that. And again, it's not to say that one way is right and one way is wrong. We're all just very different. We're all different human beings. So to me, something that's coming through is that you could possibly be thinking about past conflicts and really wanting to rectify them, but at the same time, you're also wanting to not get too emotionally invested and not to get too emotionally involved. And you're wanting to remove yourself from that. You're wanting to kind of say, if this person will forgive me, or if I'm able to forgive this person, I'm happy to do so, but I also don't want to get too bogged down by it. I don't want it to take up all of my space. I have a lot of work to do. That's what I feel like you are very strict with things. You're kind of like, I have a lot of work to do. I'm very busy. I can create closure for myself. If the other person can't create closure with me, I can't be standing and waiting for them to create that closure. But I think, again, it's not to say that you're just you're feeling dismissive of this person. This is just something, you're an efficient person, I think, and that's something that you want to maintain in your life. But let's look at your tea leaf cards. Let's see, what can you expect? Oh, first of all, 2 cards are already falling out. We've got May. So anything you're planning, it makes sense that you're so pragmatic and you're so kind of like you're a planner. Anything you're planning in December could be having a big payoff in May. You could be getting a big payoff in May. So if you're trying to plan anything for 2021, you might be making plans that could actually pay off in May. We've also got a younger woman, so maybe this conflict that you're thinking about, maybe this involves a younger woman. This could be romantic, maybe this is platonic for some of you, but maybe you're trying to establish some sort of an understanding with this person. Maybe this is someone that you have feelings for. Maybe this is someone who's younger than you. Sometimes you don't have to take in gender into consideration with these cards. Maybe this is just somebody younger than you, and you are maybe realizing that in the past, when this conflict took place, maybe there was, again, with the Page of Pentacles, there could have been a lot of immaturity in this conflict, and maybe now both of you have grown and you're kind of thinking, I can actually rectify any conflicts that I've had. It doesn't have to be specifically with one person, but I feel like you're really understanding, like, oh, these conflicts that I've had with people or person, maybe this younger woman or younger person, you're thinking, okay, they're more mature now, I'm more mature now, we can rectify it, and we can speak like adults and we can actually make it better. Or maybe you're in a relationship with somebody who's younger than you, and maybe you used to have a lot of conflicts with this person, or maybe you still have conflicts with this person, but you're trying to teach them that communication means everything, and communication can be as easy as you want it to be. You just have to be willing to go for it. And then what else do we have? We've got wealth. So you're planning for wealth. I do think that you're planning for fortune. You're planning for money. You're planning, again, budgeting could be a big part for you, pile 5. You could be budgeting for the 2021. And I think money wise, you're not going to be, again, I didn't get a strong worry about your job, like about your career. Maybe you're just getting a new job offer and you're moving on, or you're planning or you're researching for a new job or career, which is cool. And it may be this payoff. I do feel like there's going to be some financial payoff in May. So whatever you put in motion in December, there's going to be some payoff in May. And I feel like it's largely connected to finance. So that's pile 5. So I really loved doing your reading, pile 5. I hope you enjoyed it. If you liked it, do like, subscribe, and comment on my reading. I love hearing feedback, and I'm going to move on to my last but not least. We're going to move on to pile number 6. So pile number 6, let's see what is going on with you in December. We're going to look at the general energy first, and then we're going to move into the more specific energies. So first of all, let's get started with safe home. 39. I cast a circle around about. Safety now is beyond doubt. We've also got the Knight of Cups. This is a very cozy energy straight away. Very cozy. And we've got the Page of Wands in reverse. Very cozy energy. Very nice, cozy, relaxing energy. I feel like you might have a lot of time to relax in December. You might have time to spend with people that you love. I'm getting some sort of, I feel like it's going to be a romantic offer. It might be some sort of like romantic confession that you'll get. Something's coming through that this could be a largely romantic reading now that we're getting into. Just maybe, I'm not sure, but we're going to see with your love cards and everything. But I'm getting that potentially your December could revolve around some sort of romantic offer. For some of you, this could be engagement. For some of you, this could be your crush coming forward, your love interest coming forward and expressing their feelings for you. For some of you, this could be somebody you didn't expect, but you'll feel very pleased to know that they're interested in you. There's a lot of romance here and a lot of like coziness. I'm getting a lot of cozy maybe dates or nights in. I'm getting a lot of cozy energy, like not a lot of energetic energy, because with the Page of Wands in reverse, I'm getting a strong feeling of like, oh, like it's very Taurian, Cancerian energy. Like we're going to stay back. We're going to be laid back. We're going to relax at home. Watch a movie, kind of like get a takeaway. It's all very relaxed and laid back, not rushing anywhere, not being in a rush anywhere in December, just wanting to enjoy the present moment. That's something that's coming through for you as well. Some of you could be life paths number 3 or 9. We've got 39. Or you could be, we've got 3 or 9, but 3 especially, because 3 plus 9 is 12, and then we've got life path 3. So that's just something that popped into my head. But I'm getting a very strong energy of you enjoying the present moment. And specifically for a large percentage of you, this feels like enjoying the present moment with a certain someone, like a certain romantic partner or someone who's romantically linked to you. Let's see. So let's see your careers first. Even though we are talking about romance, we'll get into it in a second. But you got a lot of career cards. This is probably the most career cards that any pile got. So we've got the Fool. Ooh, the 10 of Pentacles. And we've got the 4 of Swords. You're resting for sure. Like I'm getting a lot of resting energy. It's something that you need. But it's almost like I'm getting passive income. Maybe some of you have passive income that you will be able to gain even while you're resting. Or maybe you're working out a way of getting passive income. I'm getting a lot of optimism here in this pile, a lot of optimism for 2021. There's almost like this daydreaming energy here. There's almost this kind of like hopeful energy, like 2021 is going to be great. And you're already looking forward to 2021 while enjoying December, while enjoying your present moment. There's a real hopefulness around your career, kind of feeling like, yes, my career is satisfying to me. I feel really excited. I kind of feel like a lot of you are excited specifically for 2021 for your career to take off. Maybe you have this intuitive feeling that, oh, my career is going to take off in 2021. I can just feel it. I can just sense it. My career is going to take off in 2021. That's what I'm hearing. It's kind of like you can just feel that you're going to do really well career-wise, money-wise. I'm getting that a lot of you want to buy a house. A lot of you might be wanting to buy a home in 2021. So the safe home and the 10 of Pentacles makes me think that maybe the reason that you're staying at home a lot with your partner, it could be because you're trying to save money so that you can buy a home. For some of you, you might even be buying this home in December. But to me, this is more so that you're staying at home in order to save money, but you don't mind, because I'm getting like this cozy energy. You could be spending a lot of time with your family. I'm getting a very strong message that some of you are going to be buying homes in 2021, or buying some sort of property for yourself in 2021 to start a family, or to start to have your relationship in this home and kind of like be a family with your partner together in a home situation. And you're trying to rest and you're trying to take it easy. Like I think December could be a little bit of a slow moving month for you, pile number 6, a little bit more easygoing, a little bit more relaxed. You're gonna try and keep it low key for yourself. You're not gonna try and force yourself to do anything you don't want to do. I think most of all, for you the most important thing is this sense of coziness. I think all this pile wants is a comfortable home to live in, a cozy feeling at home, to have your partner with you. Some of you are planning a family. Like that's maybe that's something that you're talking to your partner about. You're talking to your partner about potential family in the future. Maybe you're discussing baby names. Like maybe some of you are really at that stage. Maybe some of you are discussing getting married. Again, I do feel like for some of you there could be a proposal in sight. Like somebody could actually propose to you. Sorry if I spoiled the surprise. But like it's not even about that. It's just about chatting to each other and getting closer, and getting really looking forward to that homely atmosphere. That's something that I'm getting. It's a real family, and like out of all the piles, I feel like everything's about family, everything is about personal connections, everything is about the home, this hearty kind of energy that I'm picking up for pile number 6. And in terms of your career, you're more so concerned with home life and how your career affects your home life. Some of you might even be planning on working from home. Maybe some of you are interested in working from home. You're not interested on working in an office space. You're not interested in traveling for work. You want to work from home, and that's something that you're trying to plan for in December before 2021. That's something that you want for yourself in 2021. But I think there's a lot of hopeful energy. I think you're feeling very hopeful towards the future. So let's move on into your love life. So we've got the 3 of Pentacles in reverse, and we've got the Death card. I really love this Death card. It's one of my favorite Death cards I've ever seen in this deck. And to me, see the way she's holding a baby? For some reason, I'm being told that this is like some of you are planning a family, because look, in this card, she's also holding a baby. Some of you might be finding out that you're pregnant in December. If that's something that you want, take what resonates. Some of you could be finding out that you're pregnant in December. And you and your partner might be really excited to find out. I'm really seeing an end of a cycle in December for your partner. So for example, if you and your partner have been renting accommodation, maybe finally you are able to buy a house in 2021. And December kind of like marks the ending of that era for you as a couple. I feel like a lot of people that pick this pile will be people that are in solid relationships. If you're not in a solid relationship, I'm really getting a true sense that you are wanting to have a better home life for yourself. So for a lot of you that are not in relationships and are single, you are definitely considering something like working from home, or making your home environment like your you really care about your work environment. You really care, or not your work environment, your home environment. You really care that your home space is comfortable, that your home space is good. So for some of you, maybe you're considering moving. Maybe the place where you are living right now, you're not happy with. And in December, you find a place where you're feeling very emotionally satisfied. Again, it's all going back to that feeling of coziness. It's all going back to that feeling of like, I want something comfortable for myself. There's a real level of comfort and needing comfort. A lot of you could be earth signs, because there's a lot of like, I need comfort. I need to feel in my element at home. I want to feel like I'm wanted in my house. Like, maybe some of you are living with housemates that are negative and you're just done with that. You want something comforting. And I think in December, you're getting a taste of it, or some of you are actually buying a house and are able to move in somewhere. And for a lot of you, I feel like you're planning a family, you're planning to have children, you're planning to have a really beautiful home space where you can raise a family. For those of you that are in partnerships, I definitely feel like you're trying to reestablish a new cycle. So you're trying to, maybe you've been in a cycle where you and your partner felt a little bit deflated about finding a new place to live, or ever settling down anywhere nice. And I think you're finding some sort of comfort and reestablishing like, no, we can do this. We're capable of this. For those of you that are single, you are ending a cycle of not believing in yourself in terms of love life, not believing that people want you. There's a cycle that's coming in where you are becoming not super confident. I'm not getting super confident energy, but I feel like you want somebody who feels like a home to you as well. Like, you don't want a partner who constantly keeps you on your toes. You want a partner who's just going to come in and be cozy with you. Like, you are somebody who enjoys the basics, the simplistic kind of, not simplistic, but like the simple life of just having a home together, enjoying each other's company. You don't want to play mind games, and I think you're ending that cycle of mind games in your relationships, pile number 6. If you are single, I see that's something that you're not interested in anymore. Maybe you're cutting off people that in the past would have played a lot of mind games with you, and you're like done with it. So let's see what else we've got here. For your spirituality, we've got the Hermit card in reverse. So on your spiritual path, for those of you that are single, you might have felt very, very lonely. You might have felt very, very lonely, but I feel like December, again, for those of you that are single, I think that there is somebody coming in to relieve you of that like loneliness that you've been feeling. But I think the reason that this person is coming in, someone who is very emotionally fulfilling, is because you are ending the cycle of engaging in mind games and playing games with people that you're in contact with romantically, and that's when this person will come in. For those of you that are in a relationship, I think you've been feeling lonely in terms of like maybe you and your partner have been feeling lonely. Like it kind of feels like if you are in a relationship, maybe you and your partner felt like you weren't very supported in, you know, whether it's buying a house or establishing a new place to live, or you maybe feel like you constantly miss out on opportunities to establish a family. And I think you're kind of like re-emerging out of that. Again, we've got the Death card here and we've got the Hermit card. It's like you're re-emerging of this out of this loneliness, and you're feeling a lot more hopeful with the Fool card. There's a lot of hope for the future, and especially I feel like this is the most hopeful pile for 2021. I think you're kind of waiting for a miracle in 2021, and not in this negative way like, oh, only a miracle will save us now. You're really believing that a miracle can occur in 2021, and that something good is really going to land in your lap in 2021. Maybe you're getting synchronicities to confirm that. Maybe this reading can be like a part of these synchronicities that can confirm it for you. So let's see what else we've got here with tea leaf cards for this pile 6. So we've got basket, recognition, reward, or reward for merit. So you are going to be rewarded. I think you're going to feel quite abundant by the end of December. You may start December feeling a little bit out of whack, feeling a little bit lonely and that loneliness energy, but I think the way that December is going to end, it's going to end in a very prosperous feeling way for you. You're going to feel like, yes, prosperity is something that is potentially available to me. Abundance is something that I can have at any time. That's what I'm hearing you kind of saying to yourself at the end of December. We've also got butterfly, a change for the better. A change for the better is coming. We've got position of authority with throne. So again, I feel like maybe you're going into 2021 with a better plan for your career. And we've got March and February. So February and March, maybe some of you who want to buy a house, there could be something coming available around February or March. I feel like change for the better especially is going to happen February or March for you. Just keep your head up, and I feel like you have been keeping your head up. I think you're actually very positive people, pile number 6. It's just sometimes even if you're a super positive person and you keep getting knocked down, it's quite hard to keep the positive attitude going. But the cards are really, the fact that we've got February and March, I think February and March are going to be very favorable months for you in 2021. And I think to keep that in mind in December. So if you're trying to buy a house, especially, I feel like this message is really needed for some of you. If you're trying to buy a home, trying to buy a house, February and March 2021 could be a really good time for you. So just enjoy the moment in 2020. Enjoy if you celebrate any holidays, enjoy the holidays. Celebrate time with your family if you get on with your family. Spend time with your partner. Enjoy your present moment in December as much as possible, because all the good things are still on the way. A change for the better is coming. Things are going to be better for sure. So if you like this reading, pile number 6, I really enjoyed reading for you, but if you liked it, do like and subscribe. If you have any feedback, leave it in the comments. I'd love to hear it, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.